The city of Naples, in southern Italy, is one of the oldest in Europe, with a rich historical heritage dating back to the Greco-Roman period. Nearby lies the feared volcanic caldera of Campi Flegrei, known for its destructive potential and for housing more than 6 million people within its area of influence. This geological system has been monitored for decades due to the risk of eruptions, being compared to other supervolcanoes in the world for its ability to release catastrophic amounts of energy. The region has already gone through episodes of ground uplift and tremors, but nothing compared to what is currently being recorded. On a frightening morning for residents of the region, a magnitude 4.6 earthquake shook Campi Flegrei, causing widespread panic. Houses shook like leaves in the wind, people ran through the streets, and a section of cliff collapsed directly into the sea. The location of the epicenter was unusual, not in the usual area of activity, but farther west, and at greater depth, surprising even the most experienced scientists. This event added to another earthquake of equal magnitude recorded in March, making these two the strongest since the last significant eruption in the area. Authorities and experts were quick to speak out. According to them, this behavior of the volcano is anything but normal. The system is clearly accelerating, with a massive gas flow being recorded and signs that the ground continues to rise, indicating increasing underground pressure. The problem is that scientists admit they do not fully understand how this phenomenon evolves, which makes everything even more unpredictable and concerning. There is a real possibility of stronger earthquakes, or even an initial phreatic eruption that could pave the way for something even more serious. The epicenter of this recent earthquake was located in the sea near the city of Boccoli, within the boundaries of the Campi Flegrei caldera. The depth of the event and its location outside the traditional seismic activity zones raised questions about the system's behavior. Until then, it was believed that the highest magnitudes would be limited to the regions of Pozzuoli and surroundings, but that belief has been shaken. Scientists now admit they need to reassess their models and acknowledge the limitations of their understanding of this complex geological structure. Based on surveys, the number of smaller tremors that follow the main event is impressive. A true seismic swarm is underway, and although most tremors are of low magnitude, the pattern shows that something larger is happening underground. Carbon dioxide flow has increased significantly, and reports of people feeling dizzy indoors reinforce this finding. All this indicates that the system is becoming increasingly unstable, and the possibility of new strong events cannot be ruled out. The growing instability in Campi Flegrei raises an alert not only for scientists, but also for the local population and authorities. The phenomenon known as bradyseism, the gradual uplift of the ground, remains active, with the ground rising about 1.5 centimeters per month. This process, which has lasted for decades, is one of the main indicators that something is changing in the caldera. According to experts, the increase in gas emissions, especially carbon dioxide, is directly related to land uplift and growing underground pressure. Meanwhile, scientists from the Vesuvius Observatory and the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, INGV, are showing increasing concern. Giuseppe Mastrolorenzo, one of INGV's leading researchers, has issued strong warnings. In recent interviews, he stated that the risks are being underestimated and that evacuation plans must be immediately revised. For him, the current pattern of activity may be the before of an eruptive event, just as has been observed historically in the region. What is most frightening is the possibility of a submarine eruption, as has happened in the past. If that occurs, the consequences could be even more serious, including a possible tsunami with waves up to 30 meters high heading toward the coast of Naples. More than 6 million people live nearby, making any emergency response extremely challenging. Risk maps are being updated, but the uncertainty about what may happen prevents decisive action. Another key point is the internal criticism among scientists themselves. Many researchers are breaking the silence and criticizing how the situation has been communicated to the public. There is an emerging consensus that the population needs to be better informed about the real risks. According to Mastrolorenzo and other scholars, recent events disprove the idea that everything is under control. In fact, they reinforce that there are many more questions than answers, and the system's unpredictability demands more caution and transparency. The fear is not only of an immediate collapse, but of the continuation of this unpredictable behavior. The most recent tremors occurred in areas previously considered low risk, which completely changes the logic of emergency planning. What was once thought to be a stable pattern is now being questioned. The only certainty, according to the scientists themselves, is that activity is increasing, And what will happen next, no one can predict with accuracy. In the face of this growing uncertainty, the most experienced INGV experts are calling for urgent measures. The main recommendation is the immediate reinforcement of buildings in the most vulnerable areas, as stronger earthquakes than those recorded so far are not ruled out. Some buildings have already shown signs of weakness during recent tremors, with collapsing roofs and spreading wall cracks. With each new tremor, concern grows that an event of magnitude 5 or higher could cause widespread structural collapses, putting thousands of lives at risk. The pressure from the scientific community has intensified in recent months, with studies revealing that the Campi Flegrei system is even more fragile than previously thought. The Earth's crust there has several fractures and weak zones that could allow magma to rise. This structural instability, combined with the constant increase in underground gas pressure, makes this scenario even more alarming. Researchers are unanimous in stating this is not alarmism, but rather a warning based on concrete data and continuous monitoring. De Natal, another veteran INGV scientist, has publicly expressed his frustration, criticizing how his warnings have been disregarded since 2018. According to him, some authorities' insistence on considering current signals as normal borders on irresponsibility. In his view, the current Bradycism is different from previous ones and carries a greater risk of triggering more severe events. He emphasizes that the 2 magnitude 4.6 earthquakes in March and now are the strongest recorded in the region in over 4 centuries. Another point raised by experts is the mistake of relying exclusively on periods of calm as a sign of safety. These quiet moments, according to Mastro Lorenzo, can be misleading, as underground gas flow continues to increase even without intense seismic activity. This silent accumulation of pressure may be even more dangerous, as it reduces the chances of effective preventive evacuation. The ideal scenario, according to specialists, would be to combine continuous monitoring with practical prevention actions, such as well-defined escape routes and reinforcement of residential and public structures. For residents of the region, the moment is one of vigilance. The situation may not be resolved in days, weeks, or months, but what is clear is that the supervolcano is sending increasingly intense signals that something is approaching. It is not about spreading fear, but about promoting awareness and preparedness. If you are interested in topics like this and want to follow real-time updates on what's happening at Campi Flegrei, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and activate notifications. Here, the information is clear, objective, and always based on the latest data. Stay alert, share with those who need to know, and see you in the next video.